Prince EA, next video, let's do this. Take the perspective of a teacher and put that one out. I want to see your frustrations as a teacher trying to teach in the year 2019 in an educational system that doesn't allow you to be you.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Deadlock Entertainment channel. I'm Deadlock Jesh and I'll be your host. Today I'm joined by both my mom and my dad.
Hi.
What's up?
For those of you who don't know, my mom is a teacher and that's why we call it Teacher Reacts. And Dad, why are you here?
You invited me. I just wanted to give a different perspective, the perspective of someone that is open to education outside of the public school system.
All right.
And I really like Prince EA. We saw a couple of his other videos.
We all love Prince EA. So real quick, don't mean to interrupt, but I want to clear that up. His mom loves Prince EA. A lot of people think that she disagrees with him. She agrees with most stuff that he says.
And he's actually really good at what he does, and he presents his point of view in a very creative and interesting way. So that's why I'm eager to watch his next video too.
And entertaining way. But also that's one point and one reason why I also want to be here is because remember that when he presents this information to you, he presents it as an entertainer. So he does leave some things out that may ruffle educators, in the wrong way, just because they want you to have the complete view of what he's really talking about.
Right? Right. So let's get right into it.
Your son is a failure. He's barely passing my class.
Been there.
And with grades like this, I'm just not sure what kind of future he's gonna have. What do you have to say for yourself? You're supposed to graduate this year.
Listen to Mr. Johnson. What kind of future do you think you're going to have?
With all due respect, don't call me a failure. Failure is an event, not a person, in fact. And you talk about the future, Mr. Johnson, but you're not preparing us for that.
Excuse me?
Just listen to what I'm saying.
This should be good.
Would you agree?
Okay, so real quick, I've been in his shoes. I've been that student that doesn't learn the way that the public education is set up to teach you. And I've felt that way. I've gotten bad grades on my report card, and my parents have seen those grades, and they're upset with me because it's disappointing to see their kid get those grades. And I think they're disappointed because they know that I can do better. And I've always believed myself to be smarter than what my grades reflected, but...
Have you ever had a teacher talk to you that way and say you're a failure? I mean, I don't think most teachers would straight up tell their student you're a failure.
Here's the thing. We both come from school systems that are pretty great in California. You grew up in the Irvine school system. I grew up in Diamond Bar, and both of those cities are high middle class. So absolutely, we are going to be treated differently than students at lower income schools, and I have been spoken to like that by a teacher, and that doesn't help. That doesn't help kids.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't help kids. Some kids maybe, but most kids, you tell them that, and they're going to live up to the expectations that you have set forth for them.
Well, and he's probably feeling like they're ganging up on him right now. His mom and the teacher are just both upset with him. So I'm curious how he's going to express himself right now.
All right, let's go.
That in the future, most careers will become automated?
Yeah, so
the people who succeed will have to be curious, innovative, with resilience to adapt to new changes.
Right.
what's your point?
My point is, the focus in this school is not on that. It is on regurgitating information and testing.
But this is a point that he makes consistently throughout all of his videos, and I agree with what he's saying about an automated future. I absolutely agree with that. But what he doesn't understand, and what most kids don't understand while they're in the school system, is that they're teaching you something for a reason. There's a reason behind it. There's a reason behind the regurgitating. And yeah, it's boring. We just had this conversation a couple days ago. They're teaching you how to learn.
So you're supposed to teach teaching, I'm supposed to learn, remember? Never learn a goddamn thing.
You learned plenty.
I learned plenty. I learned how to sand your decks, maybe. I wax your car, paint your house, paint your fence. I learned plenty, right?
Not everything is as same.
Oh, bullshit. I'm going home, man.
Now show me wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off. Hey, wax on, hot. Wax off, hot. Hot. Wax off, hot. Wax on. Wax off. That! 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 Come back tomorrow.
So you may sit there and be like, well, I'm never going to need trigonometry. I'm never going to need calculus. I'm never going to need to know the periodic table. No, you may not need to know that, but you will need to know how to research for projects that you're given at work. And all of this stuff that you've regurgitated, what you don't know is that it's prepared you for those projects. It's prepared you for those things. It's given you the tools that you need to learn on your own.
I do agree, though. There's a lot of focus on test taking. The standardized test, for example, is just...
Well, anytime that the government gives you funds, which the public education system gets, they want to see where those funds are going and if you're doing well with them.
Right.
But
There's no way around test taking, unfortunately.
I definitely agree with what he's saying. I do believe, and we've spoken about it, I do believe that the whole education system is going to be completely different in the next 10 to 15 years. We'll see if that happens.
That's just real. But in today's world, creativity is the most important leadership skill.
Oh, that's how you feel.
You don't have to believe me, but maybe you will believe the 1,500 executives who recently said creativity is the most important leadership skill. See, pretty soon, no one will be hired because of what they know, because who cares what you know or if you've memorized a fact? We've got Google and Siri for that.
Right.
In the future, people will be hired because of what they can do with their knowledge. Can they creatively solve real-world problems?
Yes, I agree. But I do agree that the future is changing as far as like the jobs that we've always known, like career options. I think that's definitely changing. And I like that he said creativity to solve real-world problems. I absolutely agree with that statement. So I think in our district, one of our focuses is creativity as well. So we try to push the kids to be creative, and I think for that reason too. So far, so good. Let's keep on.
So book intelligence and emotional intelligence, being able to use your brain to solve problems that may arise.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's not just follow instructions or directions and bubble in multiple choice questions. So, Mom, that's why I'm stressed, because these robotic tasks we learn in school should stop. Because no one can do a robot's job better than a robot.
Right.
Billionaire founder of Alibaba, Jack Ma, said that we should not compete with artificial intelligence, but instead focus on developing unique human intelligence. Mr. Johnson, drills are for teeth, not the human mind. So these repetitive knowledge-based tasks we must leave behind. Or in the future, you're gonna find a lot of people graduating out of your class right into the unemployment line.
So how do you feel about that as a teacher, as a student? How do you feel about that? He's saying drills are for the dentist's office.
But I think it is a challenge, like, to get a job when they don't have any work experience. I mean, that is a challenge for anyone entering the workforce. So, I mean, it all sounds so nice when he presents it, but I don't completely agree that you're going to be unemployed when you get out of high school, or college, excuse me. But the jobs are changing, the job market's changing, so let's keep watching. I want to see what else he has to say.
Many top companies today don't look at grades. Mom, that old way is expiring. Google has been quoted as saying GPAs are worthless criteria for hiring. Founder of Tesla, Elon Musk, agrees. So I say this with unease and sorrow.
Real quick, so again, this is just what I was saying is that, okay, so yeah, you may not need a college degree and they may not look at your GPA, but you still need to know, you still need to have that knowledge. You can't just go to Google, you can't just go to Tesla and expect to be hired. They hire geniuses. They hire people with that knowledge.
Continue to teach today as you taught yesterday, then you rob us students of tomorrow. Mr. Johnson, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Sometimes sitting in your class is tough. I'm constantly thinking, if I don't look up at the clock, maybe it'll speed up. So I listen to you, do my work, and pay attention, feeling like an hour had to have gone by.
2 minutes.
But it was only 3 minutes.
Oh, come on.
So if you wonder why we're bored in class,
It's true sometimes.
you want to get a kid to hate reading? Give them this, a school textbook. And some people think it's our fault, and that hurts me. They say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And to that I say no. Firstly, you can put salt in that horse's hay and make him thirsty. And if you bring joy in your classroom, you can make any bad student nerdy, as he or she discovers the beauty of truly learning. Mr. Johnson, I mean no disrespect. You have the most important job.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt you, Prince EA. So as a teacher and as viewers, and this is my question whenever I watch Prince EA stuff or even Boy in a Band stuff, you know, I love Dave, is so what's the answer then? We all understand what the problem is. I get that, and I agree with you, Prince. I agree with you, you know, Dave, but giving the problem is easy. What's the answer? Because if that's the case, then you're going to need a solution for each individual student. How do we fix that? I mean, how do you expect that to be answered?
Right, and I don't really think he's been on the other end of it. Like, if he has ever put himself in this teacher's shoes, you know what I mean, to really see like the teacher's challenge. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm pretty sure he has put himself on the teacher's on the other end in the teacher's point of view. But it's easy to not include that. It's easy to just say, hey, we have a problem, let's fix this problem. It's not easy to help be the answer to that problem.
Right, and he did that in the last video too.
If he can work together with whoever to create a solution.
You are right, my friend. What do you suggest is a good solution to this problem? Absolutely. Let's see. Well, we're halfway through, so let's see if he offers a solution.
I think education is going to be virtual, and I think it is going to be tailored to each individual student's needs somehow in the near future.
Planet. You build, create, and save lives. But if you really care about my future, like you say, then you have to fully commit and ask yourself honestly, how do I prepare a child for a future that doesn't yet exist? Here's a hint.
Question, wait, real quick. Before he gives his hint and the answer, teacher, how do you answer that question? How do you prepare a student for a future that doesn't even exist?
I've thought about that before, and I don't know, because I think half the jobs that they're going to be faced with or potentially could apply for, they don't even exist yet. So that's a really hard question. I don't really have the answer. I mean, I know just based on my experience, technology plays a big part of that. And I know most schools are trying to go one-to-one, you know, so the students have devices in every classroom. It's not just going to a computer lab twice a week, because that's just not sufficient enough. I mean, they need the internet at their fingertips. Yeah. So we're trying to go in that direction, but I mean, it's costly to do that. So I think that's a start.
Well, what about you? How do you, as a student, what do you think the future of education is going to be like, and how do you learn best?
Well, like my mom said, I think it's just going to be about technology, because that's what every kid is going to want to use, is just like a phone or a computer. So I think that would help to make them learn better, because they get to use something that they like to use.
Right. This generation loves electronics.
Well, because they grew up with it. I mean,
right.
they're pretty much born with a phone in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
But and also, you're homeschooled, and most of your education is using technology. We don't use textbooks. All of your information is at your fingertips. You use the resources that you have, that we all have today. Let's see what the answer is. Prince, go on.
The answer is not found in this. It's using this.
I agree.
And this. See, in the future, we will need more passion and compassion. People with inspired hearts and wisdom to uplift this planet. And Mom, I love you, but can I be real?
Go ahead.
Watch what you're gonna watch.
You
Watch your mouth.
One of the biggest factors for childhood success? It's not IQ.
Support.
It's family meals. And we haven't had one of those in a...
Hey. What did you, Joshua? Okay, so what is it? I think it was third grade or fourth grade. He had a prompt from his teacher. What makes the family strong? What was your answer?
I said dinner time.
Dinner time. So I mean, and you're absolutely correct. You have to come together as a family and share those moments.
And compassion. I think that was a really good point.
Yeah.
And yes, people, and also educators. A lot of educators don't understand the impact that they have. I still remember things that teachers have told me, both supportive and non-supportive, from when I was in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. You're a great teacher. You're very supportive. All of your students love you, but not everybody's like you. And teachers, a lot of teachers, after a certain amount of years of effort, of trying, of feeling like they're not getting anywhere, I feel like they become hardened and kind of lose that passion.
See, I know sometimes you don't feel proud.
She's like, damn.
Because I may not be a straight A student.
Prince, this isn't
but I'm
about
not
me, it's
stupid.
about your teacher.
These tests may be 70% of my grade, but they're 0% of my future. But don't worry, I'll pass this class and get through this. But I need you to give me the space I need to be me and live true. Because the best feeling in the world is that your own parents get you. There's a passage in a book.
Real quick, Joshua, do you think that we get you?
Yeah, I think you guys get me.
And that's one thing that kind of bums me out, is I wish that parents would be more involved in their kids' life, not only educational, like their educational life, but like just life in general. But you send your kids to, like Joshua, he goes to batting practice, he goes to pitching practice, he goes to conditioning, he goes to all these other classes. Why wouldn't you invest that same amount of time and energy into your child's education?
Yes. And I feel like the parents are often quick to just say that it's the teacher's responsibility to teach the kid everything they need to know. It's our job to have them prepared for the next grade, but it's a team effort. You know, the kid really has to like put an effort. The parent has to be there at home, kind of monitoring everything, giving extra support. I mean, like, at least checking what the kid's doing, you know, like it's a team effort, definitely. And they're taking this really well. Like if this was real life, really the teacher and the parent are just gonna be like, yeah, that's great. Sounds good. Like they were angry and now they're like, okay, we're on board with you. So in a perfect world, you know, they would react this way.
But also just, I mean, and it doesn't require you to both parents to be home, doesn't require for either of the parents to be home, doesn't require for you to have a lot of money, just show interest. And parents that reach out to you, I mean, parents that are just involved, does that help you? Just so they know what's going on?
Definitely.
That takes no money, and that doesn't take you being there watching over your kid's shoulder. Just be involved in your child's life. Communicate with the teacher, develop a plan.
Yes.
As embarrassing as it was, I remember being in 2nd grade and my mom would send me to school with a note pinned to my shirt showing that I had my homework. And then at the end of the day, my teacher would take that pin and put it right back with my homework list, because there wasn't email back then.
Right.
There wasn't text messages back then.
They know way to lose it.
Yeah, that was my mom's way of saying, hey, I'm paying attention and I want to make sure that my son is doing what he needs to do. So if you need a safety pin, let me know. We could send one to you.
Prophet by Khalil Gibran. And if you don't mind, I'd love to share it with you.
Let's go.
Have you read it?
Go ahead.
See, he says, your children are not your children.
The
They are the sons and daughters of life longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, they do not belong to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow. So, Mom, I'd appreciate it if you give me the love that I need to pursue my dreams. See, if we are to succeed, all three of us need behavior change on all fronts. We talk about the future, but the future is now, and it is created now by all of us.
I've never heard you speak like that before.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But I'm going to reach out to administration and try to change some things. You have my word.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm going to reach out to administration.
So right now he's like, yeah, woo!
I know, yeah.
Inside mom's like, I'm about to whoop your
Future
ass when we
is
get out of this classroom. Boy, boom! At least that's what my mom had done. But
the future is now.
The future is now. We'll check that book out. As far as what he just said goes, Jesh, do you like that sort of freedom?
Kinda.
I mean, see, what he's saying works for for some kids. It doesn't work for all kids. Some kids just really don't know, because like Jesh showed himself, he's tried a bunch of different interests, pursued a bunch of different things, and he's still trying to find what he wants. Not every kid has that inside of them, knowing already what they really want to learn, what they need. Some kids need to be kind of, just pushed a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do like that. I do like that passage. That's pretty cool.
I do too. Yes.
I'm definitely going to need to check out that book. Alright, so that's the end of the video. I really like how he relates to the perspective of students and teachers, and he makes tons of good points. Mom, what do you think about the video?
I don't think he really relates to teachers, but he makes a lot of valid points. I don't think he offers a solution to the problem, but he summarizes the problems that we have in our school system and makes, again, really valid points, but what should we do about it?
Well, I think that what he's pushing for, without saying it directly, is for more STEM-based or STEAM-based education. That's what it sounds like. What he's talking about is the public education system that was set up back in the day when it was created to...
Traditional learning.
Traditional to send people into the factories. And what he's saying is that those factory jobs that everybody used to go to, those factory jobs are going to be all automated, which is absolutely true.
Right.
So what he's pushing for is kids that are able to be creative. So he's looking for coders, he's looking for programmers, he's looking for engineers. So what he should just directly say is we need more STEM-based education, more STEAM-based education. And I agree 2,000,000%. One of the big parts of you being homeschooled was so you can be more creative. So you can do coding, so you can learn how to edit videos with Adobe. And I agree 1,000,000%. A lot of schools either don't have the funds, resources, or knowledge to teach kids that. Yeah.
STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But I know there is a big focus and there's a big shift. So, at least in California, Southern California, I don't know about other parts of the world. But yeah, so we know what needs to happen, and I feel like it's just going to take time to get there.
And another thing that people have to be able to do, like he said, be creative and adapt. Just like people hate Common Core, you change the way you learn math, and people are all in an uproar. I don't love the Common Core math, but you can't be resistant to change in education. So the Common Core that's the first step. Then it needs to be refined, and then things like this can happen. So don't be so resistant to change.
That is the only constant thing.
And I do think that STEM education needs to be put on the forefront, because all of those factory jobs that people used to occupy, all of those are going to robots. And yeah, you do need to have a creative mind, and you do need to have a mind that's able to adapt to the times. You think you're going to be up for it?
Yeah.
I hope so. And again, parents, if you're watching, just be involved with your kids' life. There's lots of free resources. You use what is it?
Code.org.
We use code.org. It's free to set up. It's free to use. Teach your kids about coding. Introduce them to coding.
If the school pays for those websites for the students to use at school, most of them the students can access at home. So it's just a matter of parents saying, hey, sit down, and instead of going on a video game, go on Reading Eggs, or go on IXL, or go on ST Math, or a website that's educational. So I think the parents do need to provide that extra support at home and be on top of their kids, definitely.
Or go online and create a video game. A lot of your coding is through Minecraft. So, stuff like that is really, really cool.
Yeah.
I want to see his videos coming up, but I want him to provide more solutions. He's summarizing his points really well. Let's
Prince EA, next video, let's do this. Take the perspective of a teacher and put that one out. I want to see your frustrations as a teacher trying to teach in the year 2019 in an educational system that doesn't allow you to be you.
Totally. Thank you.
There you go, Prince. Let's do it,
And
baby.
differentiate your instruction for all of your 25 students.
If you want to give me a shout out, or if you want me in the video, I'll put an email down at the bottom. Just let me know. I'm available.
Alright, so guys, I really hope that you enjoyed us reacting to student versus teacher, as I always do it. Like, comment.
Wait, real quick. So who won, student or teacher? I mean, we saw him at the end.
Student obviously won in this
Student,
video.
But do you think that he went home and got in trouble? Do you think his mom was like, boy, The
Yes.
teacher was like, I'll contact somebody. He's over there on code.org.
I know, yeah, that was just crazy. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, peace out.